It's TGI Now time, back again in the K420 studio discussing real, authentic truth talk, freedom of speech, and living in the now. Freeing your mind.
One episode at a time. Shit, we trying.
Boom.
Boom.
Back at it.
I never get tired of hearing it. Boom.
That is pretty good. What's going on, boys?
Can't call it.
Another busy week.
So far in the shop has been pretty good, man.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, it's been picking up some, thank God.
All right.
People feeling more comfortable spending money, even though all this Doge and fucking the stock exchange, like that makes a difference. People really think that the stock exchange makes a difference in the economy. They
think it's real.
The stock exchange is not real money. Yeah. It's money that you gave to them to invest for you. That's not even yours until you take it out. And if you do, that's a penalty. And it's funny.
You pay for it. It's funny you say that too, because today I was going through our old podcast with Jess. And I came across a great clip that I'll play right now that's getting thousands of views on X right here about the stock market. That's just... You're right. It's all coming. It's true. All the shitty chemicals, all
the food dyes, all that shit.
Yeah. The whole stock market is built on death, murder, and lies.
Yeah.
If you're going to end with death, murder, and lies,
you're right.
At the same fucking hand, you can take your 401k and throw it in the fucking garbage. Like, that's just...
You can throw it in the garbage.
I know, but Rondo's he's a day trader too, so he's like,
I heard him. He's like, you can throw that shit in the chat. I think Rondo's like, you're right.
You're right. I'm losing a lot of money. Yeah. Right now, though, but it's going to pick up, though.
Well, it's a dead cat bounce is what happens.
Touched the stock market in 2 years.
Same here.
I never did. I pulled out of my 401k.
Bitcoin.
I pulled out my 401k about 6 years ago to open up the shop.
Yeah.
So played with a few coins, but other than that, I ain't been in the stock market.
The coins.
It doesn't exist unless you take it out. It doesn't exist. So it's all, that's like he said, the 401k is a bunch of bullshit. So
but anyway, man, we have a guest in the house, man.
I know.
Good, brother of mine, he's the international president of Citizens and Bikers for a Brighter Future he's out in Oregon, but it's an international group. We're out in New York, Florida. I happen to be the president of the Florida chapter. And, you guys have heard me talk about him and about the rescue. So now we're going to talk to him personally about the rescue. So here's Bob.
Bob Henderson.
Welcome, Bob.
There he is.
Bob.
How you doing, gentlemen?
How you doing,
man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Good to be here.
How's the weather up there in Oregon?
No, it's terrible.
Really?
Lots of rain.
So where you at in Oregon? What part of Oregon you're in?
I'm in Milwaukee right now.
Oh, you're in Milwaukee? All right, cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he travels a lot. So tell us about any, I'm just going to get right to it, So tell us about any recent rescues, Anything that's recent, something that you could discuss that, because I know you had posted that you had a couple of rescues. So tell us about one of them.
The most recent rescue, me and Fat Steve did a few days ago, where we went in and there was kids involved. I can't say too much about it, but there was kids involved, and we ended up helping 11 kids out of there.
Okay, good.
Went in, the mother was on drugs. She is more of a foster parent than she wasn't biological. And we helped them kids get back where they needed to be. So it was kind of a boring rescue, but I mean, at least we got to save the kids.
We got 11 kids out. I mean, shit, no one got hurt, but thank God for that, like, I can tell you this, like right now we're looking for a local girl. So you want to put that picture up for me, please? Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're looking for this girl. So I'm going to put it out there on Rumble as well. So if anybody has seen this girl, just tell me where she's at in Florida, and we'll just ride up and get her. You know what I mean? I'm going to discuss it more in detail with Bob tomorrow, but this girl here, okay, she's a local. She's only 14. Apparently she met some predator online in his 20s, tattooed guy, somebody that, I mean, I'm a tattooed guy, but the whole point is someone older than her. She's only 14. So if you guys get any information, my phone number is on there, 772-713-0921. do not hesitate to call. I don't have to give you a name, no information. If you just happen to see her walking the street in the area, just tell me. This way we could just go get her, take her back home. She's only 14. You know, she's a child. If she was your child, you would want somebody to say something. So if you've seen her, please contact me. My name is Eddie. All right, I'm the president of the Florida chapter of Citizens and Bikers for a Brighter Future, and this is what we do. And you know, I like I said, you know, don't even worry about how we're gonna get her. We'll get her. She's coming home. So just a shout out, man. So I just want to put that out there. Yeah, Bob. So what do you think about, you know, about this? This is a young girl. She's 14. I know you see this a lot. And this is a part of the stuff that we do. As you can see the website. You want to pull that up? He's going to pull the website up now, Bob.
What do I think about it? I think it's very doable. I mean, she is with an adult. So as long as we can get the name, last known whereabouts, her mother probably knows where they're at. And
I've asked her. She says she doesn't.
She doesn't.
And you know, it's a child, so I don't need the child's permission. The mother said that she gives me permission to get her.
Well, as long as we know a name, we can run him down.
All right.
Find out where his last.
I'll put her name on the internet, but I'll give you her name privately because the mother doesn't want her name out.
No, I meant his name.
So I'll let you know what her name is. So this is the club. So is Bikers for a Brighter Future. What can you tell us about the club? What got it started, Bob?
Back in 2006, I lost a daughter. She was took up to Washington and beat by three men and killed. And basically, that got me interested in it. I got into a group called Bikers Against Child and Women Abuse. And I was in that for a couple of years, decided to branch off to Bikers for a Brighter Future. And during that time, my youngest daughter got involved in some trafficking, and I had the hardest time getting her out of it. For one, she didn't want to tell me that's what she was doing. Come to find out, they were telling her that they would kill her family. So she was trying to protect us, and I was trying to protect her, and it just turned into a big fiasco. By the time I got her out of there, it was kind of too late. She was used to that kind of a situation, started using drugs, got in with a bad crowd. So I started doing these rescues, and you know, every time I did a rescue, it made me feel like I accomplished something. I couldn't help her, but you know, I was helping them. And she would go out on some of these rescues with me, you know, after she turned 18, and she enjoyed them. Well, you know, enjoyed helping other people. And just recently, 2023, she was killed for a $1,600 lottery ticket. So, why I was out doing a rescue.
Wow.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, Bob, I remember when that happened back in 23. You were devastated. I know that right now you're raising her daughter, your granddaughter right now, and so I commend you for that. I know it's tough. You know, you've been sick. You know, you've been going through your own issues, your own health problems. So, so when you got it started, right? How did it become an international thing? I mean, because I know that we have chapters in New York, we have chapters in South Carolina, we have chapters in Alabama, we have chapters in Florida. So let's talk about that. How did it end up branching out?
Well, Canada was the first one to come into play. And then we had the Philippines that jumped in, and then Nigeria, which turned out to be a fiasco. And now we have Australia, Sweden, Scotland. I think that's about it out there.
And then in the States, we have What, like 17 states?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I believe they're all on that website.
Yeah, I saw that.
We got
Yeah.
Connecticut. I think Connecticut's not on there.
I'm not sure
And,
if I saw New York too, but let me see. Yeah,
New York may not be on there.
Yeah. So we have more. So we have this plus New York and some other Connecticut. So
All right.
so these are places. So like in Florida, right? So and I talk to my Floridians. So in Florida, right? If you know of a situation, you contact me, DM me, call me, and then we do what we need to do to get for the rescue. So the rescue is what? A woman's getting abused by a husband or by a boyfriend, or as she's being trafficked, or they're hurting a child, or even elder abuse. Of an elder being abused. Let us know. That's what we're here to do. We try to do things as lawfully as possible. A lot of times it's just the presence that does it. A lot of these people are cowards. You know what I mean? When they see men, they back off. We have a woman that gets the woman, and we let them know we're not here for you. We're here to protect her. So, and that's it, and we get them out. But that costs money, right, Bob?
Yes, it does.
So how much money? I know you've put out thousands of dollars. You've even sold property to make it happen. But what I'm saying, how much is per rescue?
It averages from $45 to $150 a rescue.
Okay, so let's say they need a phone.
That's another $200.
Okay, let's say they need a hotel because the safe houses are full.
You're looking at $75 to $100.
So I know that it averages out with gas, travel, everything else about $2,000.
Yeah,
$2,000 a rescue. So, and I know that a lot of that's come out of your pocket, without, a lot of us, we put in our dues. So if someone wanted to donate, Bob, let's say they just want to, help out, be a part of this, how can they do that?
They can donate through Citizens and Bikers for a Brighter Future, which is the initials Cash App, or they can donate through me, which is $ Bob Henderson Sr.
Underneath this.
And they all get a write-off at the end of the year.
Okay. So they could donate and, just to be a part of it, they get a receipt, for their taxes, whatever, not that we do it for that. But the point is that it is a legit organization, something that we actually really do. I know that, again, I put out some money for rescues, like a lot of us have in the club, have put out a lot of our own money to do a rescue, so
donation.
Yeah, so any donation.
Yeah, our presidents and vice presidents have put out and put out and put out.
Yes, we have.
We've had some really good citizens though, like Mary Shinnick and Karen, I can't think of her last name right off the bat, but we've had about five citizens that are always there every month putting something in.
So that's where Citizens and Bikers comes in, because we involve them as well.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, because John will always be part of the rescue. He says he has a car. He'll will need to drive. Rondell's a big guy, believe it or not. Yeah, I don't know if you see him. He's a pretty big dude.
Right.
And then I got a friend, and I told you the sergeant of arms is Gabriel, 7 feet tall. So these are guys
the green giant.
Yeah, the green giant. These are guys that I could just call and just take a ride, just to fucking hang out, and make
right on.
That used to be a bad man.
Right. Ooh, man, that guy.
So it's all about presence. I believe it's not so much about like we're gonna go kick your ass. Though we can. It's more about presence. Like I said, a lot of these guys are cowards. I know that you had an ordeal where a guy hit you with a stick or a flashlight or something.
He hit me in the back of the head with a 4x4, and I ended up in the hospital with concussion.
Oh
yeah,
God.
Brain bleed.
Yeah, that was recent.
Wow.
Yeah, and since then I've had a few strokes. That's why my mouth is kind of drooping here. But anyway, I'll still get up and kick ass.
I thought I was turning you on, and I was like, "You drooling? Okay, cool."
So I do want to add something there. We were put together mainly at the start to rescue children. We need to bring them up. And we work with social, if social services wants to give us a call, feel welcome to. I know it's breaking the rules and all that other stuff, but, reach out to us. Do it behind the scenes, however you want to do it. We won't say nothing. You don't say nothing. We'll just get the kids safe.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
I wanted to add that.
No, that makes total sense, Bob, because that's what we need is people to even if they see something that's going on, they need to tell somebody. If they're in the system, they should at least let somebody know. And like you said, they can remain anonymous and just be able to help the situation instead of maintaining and letting it keep happening until something tragic happens.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about the tunnels you've dealt with. I know I have a video I pull up on X about the tunnels, and obviously deep underground military bases too, or tunnels. But what are the ones you've seen? I know you've talked about this with Eddie, and he's told me some things. What have you seen in that situation?
We went down into some tunnels and got some girls out of there. I think they were breeders.
Oh wow!
A breeder is a woman that they impregnate to sell the babies. Not real sure because they weren't saying much. We got them to the hospital, and I know they're doing well now. As far as I know, they might have been born down in them tunnels, but I can't really say. But they were somewhere in Oregon. We did get a police officer got killed over the situation for telling us where it was.
Oh wow!
I can say it's along the coastline.
That's the tunnels there, Bob.
Yeah,
you see them?
Yeah, I'll show them. The deep underground military. Well, these are underground military bases, but
that's what's
being used too. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got the map for all of them.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll play this real quick so our viewers they can get
right now
an idea what we're talking
about. An idea. We're just gonna play like what
1 minute.
What one tunnel looks like.
Yeah.
$19 billion. Each one is built in the site. It used to be it'd take a year to 2 years to build each one, and now they're capable of building a couple of them a year with sophisticated methods. My colleague Al Bielik has actually been on some of the high-speed railways, the magneto-leviton trains that connect all the deep underground military bases within the United States. He's been on a Mach 2 train and floats off a single rail at a 3/4 of an inch off the rail, and is what you'd call high tech. We have nothing like this on the surface right now.
But these are different from the tunnels you're talking about. You're talking about tunnels where they're breeding actual children, and it's like black tunnels where they live in the dark.
Yeah, and they are basically cement. When you go down there, it smells like urine and feces. And I would say it smells a little bit like blood. There was 3 little ones too that we pulled out with them too, they did go into social services from there.
Oh,
social services took the credit, so you won't find anything about us on there.
Well, that's all right. We don't. Sometimes it's better, to be in the background.
Yeah, 100%.
They leave us alone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're not there for recognition anyway. We're there to help the children and help the women and the elderly.
I don't ride around town flying my colors, bro. I only ride it when I need it, bro. Honestly, because I respect the colors, and I don't want them to be displayed as a joke. This is serious shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're out to really do something. This is not a club that we meet every Sunday in church, even though we should, once we get, big enough. But, over here in Florida. But what I'm saying is just that we're more about if there's something that needs to get done, let's get it done. That's it. We got to rescue a kid, a woman, or some elderly person that they're taking their welfare checks or whatever they're taking.
Yeah, it's
just stop it. Just stop the nonsense. Just stopping the fucking nonsense. Stop abusing people. It's horrible the way they abuse these. It's like these 300,000 missing unaccompanied minors. Where the fuck are they? These are kids, children that are being used for body parts, for sex toys, for slavery. And we're like worried about fucking the stock market. Like, what the fuck is wrong with us?
Exactly. You never hear anything about it on the news or anything like that.
Nope.
No.
You hear about the stock market. You hear about the economy. How much they hate Trump and how much they love Trump and Trump and Trump. I'm sick of it, bro. I'm sick.
I think people need to let Trump be Trump and be president. And leave him alone.
Yeah. I want to read this real, Bob. We talked about this before the podcast. This is something you wrote for the website called Citizens and Bikers for a Brighter Future. What a Rescue Feels Like, written by Bob Henderson, International President founder. First, you receive a call or notice that one or more people are being abused. You do a safety check to see if it is a fact or fiction. Then you reach out to all the members of the state and ask for assistance. Let the safe house or motel know that you are planning to bring the victims to stay for a while. Let the city or county authority know that you will be there to rescue and relocate typically women and children out of an abusive environment. We have been called in to help the victims. This announcement is to the police or sheriff department is so they don't roll up on us and to make more problems that can be avoided, and that they do not shoot us or those that will be helping the rescue. Know that we have had to act fast. Then you head to the abused address. You say a prayer to God, praying that the abused are still alive, and that you and the ones that you are helping do not do the rescue, do not end up getting shot before they reach the door, and that you don't have to shoot anyone either. If all goes well and you can get out the abused out of harm's way, once you have achieved your objective, take them to either a safe house or the motel. Make sure that you have someone that can sit and watch them. Ensure they haven't been followed. Once the victims are safe and in a safe place, you're done with the part and the rescue. The rest is where the agency may step in and do the help, doing what we can together to get them out of a living situation that they could stay in and thrive. We are now coming up on 200 rescues, which this year alone, we've all been lucky, and I thank all that have helped for the past and all those that are helping in the future. Thank you. God bless. It's pretty
yeah,
deep.
And I believe with all the states, I believe we're at 847 right now.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
That's awesome.
But that's over from 2006 on up. So
what got us involved in this one, me involved, is remember Megan? When we interviewed Megan Walsh, one of your guys, I won't mention his name, he was at the time the president, and he recruited me as a sergeant of arms, and I met you. That's what got me involved in this because, like I told you, being an ex-patch holder, I was looking to get into Red Rum, but their politics was a little different than mine. I think I told you about it. Then I got involved with, Citizens and Bikers. And then when it depleted, then I asked you if we could start it up again, that I'll be responsible for president. But it all started out through a rescue. You guys were looking out for Megan Walsh, because she was being, threatened at the time. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what got me involved.
Yep. I should have flew down there at that time and helped out a little more than what was helped out.
But he was in contact with you every day. I know that because I was with him.
Right.
Yeah. I know things got a little shaky. I succumbed to mentioning his name a little after, but it's all good today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little wild time as well.
Yeah, a few years ago, yeah.
She still hasn't gotten the kids back.
Yeah, she still hasn't gotten her kids back, Bob.
Well, maybe we'll go talk to her when I'm down
there. Yeah, maybe. I'm not even. She's not.
I don't know where she's at. I don't think she's in Florida.
Nah, she left, man. No one knows where she's at. She's keeping her place, her like where she lives, as private. I think she's in a farm somewhere.
Yeah, she's gone. The woman she was staying with moved. I mean,
John got arrested because of it. I was questioned. It was a big ordeal.
Yeah.
What happened after your boy left? It was us.
Yeah.
That took care of it.
True. Yeah.
And I did. It was us. You know. And I went in as a sergeant of arms of Citizens and Bikers, but it was us that did it because, the president had left back or whatever. But, and that's when he got arrested, and it was a big ordeal. But
well, I'm glad you were there.
oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that video live in infamy. That video, I'm stealing that baby right off her,
the baby right
off her boob, right off her tit.
Yeah, man, she was breastfeeding and boom, the baby was
Baby's
gone.
Like, give me that boob black. Wait a minute. They just fucking yanked it.
Crazy shit.
I still have post-traumatic stress thinking about it. It's horrible, man.
Yeah, it was real.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, what am I witnessing here? This is insane. This is the police are taking this baby, and the mom is right here, and they're taking it right from the mom and saying, "I'll see you later. Never see you again."
That's crazy.
Very wrong. Very wrong.
Yes, Bob, I have a question for you, man. So, on an average, right, and this is just for the women out there who are listening. On an average, right, how many women go back to the abuser?
Oh, wow. Probably 6 out of 10.
60%. That's a high percentage.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that kind of like I don't get. That we go out, and I told you it's about, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 a rescue if you do all the math. And then, we set them up with a phone. We take their old phone from them. This way the guy doesn't have her number, can't track her if he has a tracking device, whatever. We clear her out. Put her in a hotel, feed her, a guy will stay with her, respectfully, or one of the girls could stay with her, So the whole point is that we go through all that, and then they end up going back to the abuser, and most of the time they end up dead.
Yeah. It's crazy.
They end up dead, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, if someone came and rescued me from an abuser, would I go back? No, I would fucking run as far as possible. But
you say that, but it's trauma too. It goes to the trauma. I think it's a lot of that. I mean, that's, I would think the trauma from your childhood keeps you attracted to that situation in some way, shape, or form that where you just can't get away from it because you feel like that's normal. You've seen it enough to where I feel more comfortable with that than I would feel comfortable being safe. I feel more comfortable with the drama and all the workup that comes up with it because it's generational trauma. It's childhood trauma. That's what it is.
They're not used to feeling,
normal.
Yeah.
Or alone,
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. You don't feel normal being with yourself. That's the hardest thing, is to sit with yourself. That's why psychedelics actually helps heal people that have childhood trauma and generational trauma. It heals the brain from the processes of that's not your fault. What happened to you wasn't your fault. It's not, you didn't do anything but just be a person, and you got abused. You were in a situation that should never happen.
Rondo, I want to ask you a question, Rondo, because being a little quiet, but I did want to mention this. I know in the Black community, right, a lot of Black young kids go missing, and there's not really a big deal about it. Let's talk about that for a minute. I know that happens more often than not. That a lot of these young Black girls, they end up like teenagers, they end up, leaving for whatever the reason, and no one really goes out and makes a big deal about it. It's considered like they ran away. There's no news, because you rarely see a clipping of a Black girl missing. You see white girls missing all the time, maybe a Latina, but you rarely see a Black girl. So, I mean, are they not getting kidnapped, Rondo?
I don't know. It's different. I mean, because in minority families, like when you're younger, 14, 13, you're responsible for a lot of shit. So, like, if you probably got, like, it's different. Like a kid going missing in a Black or a Mexican household is because that kid probably got disrespectful or something. Like that kid left. That's why it's not being reported. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I can see it not being reported, because in a family like ours, one of our families, no, you go missing.
Oh yeah,
somebody's reporting that shit. But like, I don't see if in a Black neighborhood, and like it happens in Gifford all the time. It really, you wake up in the morning and the police out there looking for kids, like literally like
11,
looking for a little kid. Like,
these are the ones I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the runaways so much. I'm talking about the 8, 9, 10-year-olds that are being snatched from the street, and no one's really making.
You walk out in the morning, bright early in the morning, and the police is looking for a little kid.
Because it's hard to see a Black Amber Alert here in Florida. And look, I'm just being 100, Bob, because I always say, Bob, and I say this in the show, how come we don't have an Amber Alert every 15, 20 minutes? Why is it that we get an Amber Alert every couple of days?
Not even a couple of days.
When's the last time we got an Amber Alert?
A month, if
that. So
I haven't seen an Amber Alert in a long time.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What, they're not missing anymore?
No.
Every day they go missing.
You understand that these Amber Alerts is almost like they're selective.
Very.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
Let's just pray that Trump will bring him back.
No. You're right. I mean, you see it. You see a turnaround to a certain extent on the border and things of that nature. So things are changing for it. And I know deep down in my heart that's a big part of what's going on with whatever's going on with the politics and Trump is that we're trying to do the best we can to save as many kids as possible from the deep dark forces that are controlling our fucking reality. And that's really what it comes down to.
I dig it, bro.
We're protecting the kids. That's the future. The kids are the future. They get the kids, you get the future. It's like you said.
Yeah, that's my passion, John. You know what I mean, Bob? My passion is these kids because, I've experienced being abducted as an 8-year-old and going through a horrifying experience as an 8-year-old, being abducted. So that fear, it's almost like whenever I hear about a child or something that's happened to them, I can remember that feel and I feel so bad for the child.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What they're going through, so that's my passion. You know what I'm saying? So we all have our reason. You started 2006 because of what happened to you. And because of what happened to me and other young men and women, that's why I do it.
It keeps us going.
Yeah. My mother was thrown down the stairs by her boyfriend, and she wore her cane till the day she died, and she died young, 53. That same guy, drank with my mother where she drank herself to death, So it's just one of those things, so in everything in my life, like John had mentioned before, the trauma that we go through, that's what drives us either to being an abuser or being totally against the abuser. And that's where I'm at. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you have both sides of the spectrum. A lot of times the abuser was abused. Yeah. And see, you and I chose different. We allowed the trauma that we went through, the death of your daughter and whatever you went through your childhood, we allowed that to drive us to help, to prevent, to get involved. But we didn't feel no one got involved for me. People saw me going into that basement. No one helped. They saw those two men were drunk when they took me down to that basement. No one said, "Hey, that's not your son."
Yeah, that's true.
No one got involved. They just let it happen. So that's, so I'm not that person.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to let it happen.
No.
Say something.
I'm going to say something. Because
and do something.
Yeah, and do something because people who know me know. I'm a doer. I just don't say shit, man. I don't talk about it. I be about it.
Right.
That fucking shit.
Don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it. Be about it. That's what I always say. People have a tendency to fucking yap.
Yeah,
Let's do it. That's how we got everything going here and even in the podcast. Let's not fucking talk about a podcast. Let's fucking do a podcast 4 years later.
204 episodes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? This is our 4th season, So
Bob, do you do any fundraisers or anything to generate funds in any way? I'm just looking at some ideas here.
We haven't really, but we plan on putting them together this summer. So
okay, all right. Well, let us know what you need to do to help and what you're going to do because I want to help you guys out and whatever you can help with the website and stuff like that. I think some ideas on the website of maybe putting some donation options on there and some things. I think that you guys can. I think we can spread awareness.
I do apologize. I should have invited Joanne Bimper. She's my secretary. I should have invited Joanne to come. And
yeah,
I
you
did
should have.
I should have invited Joanne.
Joanne can do a show separate with her too.
Joanne can do a show with you too. The same way we're doing it.
Yeah.
Joanne has her own podcast as she's very popular as well.
Yeah.
So you can do a show with Joanne and talk about that, which is really good. Yeah. Joanne has the same. Joanne's been riding. She has more miles than most men that I know on a motorcycle. True story. The chick is no joke. You know what I mean? I mean, really, straight up. She, I will take her and I'll take Mickey, The
Right.
girl that I kind of
Nikki
helped
ain't no
out.
joke.
You know, Nikki ain't no joke. Nikki will hurt somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, so these are the people that I'll take. You know, yeah, I won't take my wife because she'll probably kill somebody. I don't need her
Yeah,
to
you
go
don't
to
do
jail.
that. You don't want to have that.
So
You know, I've got something to say. We've got more women that'll step up than we do men, and I know I'm going to get in trouble for that. But
oh yeah,
it's a fact. We've got more citizen women that will jump up and volunteer than we do men.
but you want to know something though? My wife, being involved in politics, she'll tell you the same thing. That more women are involved than men. It's crazy. What happened to the man in today's society is a shame.
Forget it.
It's a shame what happened to the man today. I mean, shame. Because think about it. Think about what men are doing today. They're hiding, and women are the ones out front.
Well, that's how. I mean, that's what happened with me when I got involved in the school board thing. Like, all I saw were just women trucking up to the program. Yeah. I'm really tired of my kid wearing a mask. I'm like really sick. We're gonna have a mental health crisis.
So nobody taking these women.
Nobody was taking it serious. And I was just like, you know what?
And then all the men showed up at that one, and they shut that bitch down. None of us could talk. They don't let none of us near that podium.
Exactly.
Yeah, we took the Green Giant with us. So
we can make something happen.
Yeah, we can make something happen, man. You know, so I'm thinking about maybe getting a ride together, poker run or something.
Yeah, definitely should do that.
There's enough guys that ride out here. I got Tony. I got this guy Ernesto. Yeah. So there's guys I know that ride.
Yeah, and then Sandra could help organize it.
Yeah, Sandra's good at organizing stuff. So we'll get everybody involved.
We'll advertise. We'll
get stops. We'll get Cass as a spot. We'll get fucking Vincent's as a spot. We got places that we could get as spots. People that know us. Yeah. I can be a spot. So that's already 3 poker cards. We just need 2 more. Yeah, you know what I mean. Do a 5-card stud.
Yeah, that's a good
little run. $10 a card. Somebody wins a grand prize. Whatever's in my shop or membership or. So, $100 gift certificate at my shop, or they could get a $100 gift certificate from Vincent's or from Caps. These are places that will donate, kind of nice gift certificates for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
so, we can do that. So let's try to plan that out. You can help me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll get you. Joanne's done them before. When I've done them, I've just wrote them and I've never organized a run. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do believe that we're planning a run May 23rd to the 26th.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I mean, don't quote me on that. I think we're going down to Fossil, Oregon, from Portland to Fossil.
Where's that? That's up
I just got to make sure I'm back in Oregon at that time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. So I mean, that's the plan. So we're not doing the podcast for donations. Obviously, we're not. I want you guys to meet Bob because you guys have heard me talk about Bob. Yeah. So I want you guys to meet him. He's going to be coming down in July. Yeah. So he'll be sitting right next to me.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. So it'll be nice. I just wanted you guys to get a heads up of who he is. A lot of times you guys think we're boo. Who's this guy? Bob? You talk about Bob a lot. Is he a real person?
Well, this is me.
I definitely said it a few times.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So if you listen to my podcast, you'll hear it.
Yeah, I definitely mentioned we got Bob Henderson on the show soon. And
we had a guy one time on the show that was seriously interested about patching in too.
So that was it was Brian Wolf. Yeah, he was going to help with the risk rescue. So. Yeah. So he would be somebody too that you could get to help you out for sure.
Even in another part of the state too.
Yeah. So
well, let's get him patched in.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to concentrate on that now. That's why I'm getting involved with this girl, this rescue. I'm going to start, getting involved. I got Anthony that's wanting to patch in. I got, of course, John and Rondell. These are people that can be citizens. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So. It's about honestly, because you guys don't ride.
All right. I ride my car.
What I'm saying is that, we get some riders, plenty of riders who want to get involved in this. And if you do want to get involved in this and you're out of the state, contact Bob. Bob, how can they contact you?
They can give me a call directly at 971-204-1267.
Okay. We're going to actually repeat that again and we're going to write it down so we can post it.
Yep.
So yeah,
971
204
1267.
1267. Bob Henderson, International President of Citizens and Bikers for a Brighter Future. So if you guys see that someone needs a rescue, if you get a hand on the phone and you need a rescue, make sure that you give us a call. You can reach me in Florida. I mean, I could reach out to Georgia, 772-713-0921. Just give me a holler. You know, you guys know me, just DM me. Yeah, because this is something that I'm passionate about, you know. This is real shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, so don't allow someone to be abused if you're a witness to it, you know, because that makes you just as guilty. You know?
True. No.
Yeah.
So true.
And
Also,
yeah,
don't worry about what patch you're wearing on your back, because we're a group that doesn't go by patches.
No, Georgia is the
We
guy
don't care
in
what color.
Georgia is a brother in Red Rum. The guy that will help me out in Georgia is Laz. He rides with Red Rum.
Red Rum.
All right.
Yeah, so no, the patch don't matter. You know, what we want you to do is be involved. You know, I'll wear the patch, and maybe, you know, I have Joanna, she'll wear a patch, you know, Mickey will wear a patch, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, you know, we got patches. You don't have to wear our patch. Come in your patch if you're comfortable, because we're a neutral club. You know, we don't outlaws, HA, you know, we're neutral, bro. We're not about,
we're motorcycle
we don't pick
ministry.
sides. We don't pick sides, you know what I mean? That's not what we're about. We're not here for territory. You know, we don't fly Florida, you know, we show respect, you know. So give us the same respect. That's it. You see somebody flying our colors, just let them ride through, because they mean you no harm. You know, we're here to help. So if you want to get involved, no matter what patch you're wearing, just give us a holler, man. Hey, you guys want to do this with us, man? Hell yeah. Yeah, I know there's some good clubs out there getting involved, you know, and helping people out. They're not all thugs. You got some good clubs out there. And even if you're a thug and you want to get involved, I'm good with that too.
Solutions.
Hell yeah, let's make it happen. Let's get together, man. Hell yeah, man.
That's the whole point.
Fucking get these kids out of these fucking bad situations, you know?
Right.
These women, these fucking people, you know, it's fucked up.
Let's give a little shout out to Caps Pizza.
Oh,
too,
man, let me tell you something. So we're going to put out, this is Caps. I just ate half of that chicken sub that they made.
He was scarfing it.
Dude, I was hungry when I came in, man.
Right.
I come to the show hungry because these guys, they make the best, absolute best subs. And then we got the lasagna pizza that is out of this world, man. It's like having a plate of lasagna. I mean, literally, with a piece of bread on the bottom, a thin crust bread.
It was good.
Truly amazing. So if you guys want to try that lasagna pizza, go to Caps. They're out in Oslo and 27th. They make a great pizza, a great atmosphere, beer and wine. They just don't make pizza. They have subs. They have pizza. They have pasta. They got it all. You know what I mean? So check them out. So they need to place an order, John. How can they do that, man?
Give them a call, 772-770-CAPS. Knocking out pizza since 1987. I'm like losing my voice here. CapsPizzaMenu.com.
There we go.
All right, so that's 772-770-2277. All right, give them a call. Tell them that the guy that CGI Now sent you, they'll give you 10% off.
Get a little cotton mouth from that bug.
That's from that. From
Right.
some of that pizza in the water.
Right? That looks good.
But anyway, man, thanks, John. We appreciate you at Caps, man. Make sure you guys give them a shout out. I mean, they are amazing. You know what I mean? They even have a party room in Pac-Man. Who has that?
Nobody.
You know what I mean? Nobody. Anyway, so but we're sorry, you're out in Oregon, so we couldn't deliver out there.
I know, right?
Yeah, you're making me hungry.
We should have told you to get some pizza for the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so talking about that, so what's in the makings for the future, Bob?
Well, we want to get to where we can get enough funding to get some safe houses. I know that you want one down there in Florida.
I do.
And right now we've got maybe 4 safe houses. We've got 2 in Oregon, a few in Idaho. Oh, we got more than 4. One in North Carolina. I think that's Connecticut. We've got one. And I think that's about it.
Well, right now in Florida, you know, the safe houses that will get you to a good hotel. So We're not worried about that. So don't worry about because we don't have a safe house. We'll definitely make sure that you are safe. We are looking to, buy a house, a nice size house that we could have, that some women can hide or some children could feel protected. Even though the children go to social services, we don't keep the children, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. But social services sometimes could be just a boomerang back to the fucking street. You know what I mean, John?
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm going to say something to you. One thing that we realized, and John can explain it better than me, and I'll let him, is that a lot of the times these kids are taken to social services just to be brought back to the same situation. Go ahead, John.
Exactly. No, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, we saw it with
you've experienced it with the Hibiscus House.
Yeah. Well, that's where it really stemmed from, was Hibiscus House, because that's where Megan's parents were helping with that whole process.
That's Adam Walsh, by the way, from America's
John
Most
Walsh.
John Walsh.
Adam Walsh was the kid that was passed. But they go into the system, and then they by design don't give them back to the homes, and they keep putting them back into the system, foster care after foster care after foster care, and eventually they get abused and neglected even more than they should be from the system itself that was supposed to be protecting them. So that's where you have to deal with the reality of that truth. Is that's exactly what it is, that they get abused in the system instead of being rescued from the system. Just like Bob said about the abuser, always going back to the abuse. It's the same thing. It's the same vicious cycle. They do it on purpose so that child becomes abused over and over to where it gets into the real world, and all it knows is that's abuse. They live in these houses with these foster parents. That's all they know is sexual abuse or verbal abuse or physical abuse. And so you see it all the time. And then they don't go back to the parents. Just like
it's all about that dollar sign.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the money.
I know. And so that's what scares me about always sending them back into the system.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a way that, we can find like a safe house for them? I think that they need it more than anything.
It's true.
More because they won't run back to the abuser because their children. It's like, couldn't we get like a ranch, like with a nurse on staff and
that's what we should have.
We need probably someone to donate the ranch. But I got 5 acres in Colorado that I'm willing to donate to anyone willing to, build a ranch on it that we could house maybe 20 children, and we'll have adult supervision, a nurse, some counseling, school. Mm-hmm. We could teach them a trade. Show them love, give them some hugs, and
Colorado needs that,
something like that, because putting them back in the system to me is just more abuse.
It is,
especially teens that are too old to.
Yeah, the ones that foster out. I talk about that all the time. We got the teens, right? So they're 18. They foster out in Florida. It's big.
Within
they foster out of these homes, and next thing you know, they get thrown out because no checks. They want to make room for the next check. So they throw these kids out. They go out, they have no education. They were already a little rebellious because they had no love. They knew they were just a paycheck. And these kids go out and they're homeless. You see young couples, and when you talk to them, because we do, I was in a foster home in Fort Lauderdale, but I got fostered out. Then they explain to me what it means, and I've been passionate about that. I just think that we're throwing away our children. What the fuck? Like, they're not throwaways, and we're throwing away our future. Our children are being thrown away.
I feel the same way.
We need to fucking stop that.
Go ahead, Bob.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah,
it needs to stop.
I watched a movie the other day. I don't even know what the fuck it was called. Just walked in from work and fucking my girl's watching it. Mm-hmm. And it's something about a dystopian future where the world's done. There's a robot. I think it was called Mother. There's a robot watching over a kid, like the baby being
that. Yeah.
So the baby grew up. It's a teenager now.
Yep.
And the robot's been lying, saying there's like a disease outside. But basically, robots just like her are outside just wiping out humanity. And then this place she's in are a bunch of babies in tubes, all waiting to be born.
Wow.
So my girl is like, why would they do that? And I was like, people really don't realize how powerful innocence is.
Exactly.
If you basically wipe out all adults, anything with an idea right now, and you start over with just children, But you put this narrative into their head.
100%.
They move the way you want them to.
That's all they know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They get programmed.
That's programmed.
Exactly.
Innocence can be programmed.
Well, you know what we call it too? Grooming.
Yes.
That's grooming.
Yes.
Because kids get groomed very easily today, especially when they're in homes that busy parents are working, one parent homes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these kids are groomed, and they're groomed on the internet. You know, so
at school, the teachers are doing it now.
Predators are big on. My wife is showing me. Predators are big on like Roblox, all these games. You know, that the kids like.
Kids aren't even allowed in our sessions.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, but you understand. So these adults, they lure them in, and they open up. They have these trap doors, and they get them.
Yep.
And if you want your stuff, you can meet me over here. I'll give you your stuff back. I'll have my mother drive me. The whole point is they're looking to snatch the kid. We give all the information online, right? I mean, Bob, today I think part of the problem with social media is that we're too busy giving them all our information.
Exactly.
Right. We should keep our kids' pictures off the internet.
Yeah.
And their names. I mean, I'm guilty of that myself. I like showing off my granddaughter.
She's beautiful. But she's protected, bro.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Yeah. We do give it away. That's the thing.
But that's it is that we give away this information. Our kids do the same thing. And they put out their feelings on social media. A predator sees that. Ooh, she's having a bad day. Let me try to be a hero.
Yeah, you've got to keep your kids off the internet.
Yeah, we have to monitor what we're doing, and we're not. We're allowing the internet and all these crazy videos to babysit our children while we cook dinner, while we clean, while we ourselves are entertained by social media.
Exactly.
You know, so
that's all.
It's like we become programmed
distractions
not to be fucking paying attention. We're like programmed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pay too much attention.
Yeah.
We had a possible going to be a shooting at Bend High School up here in Oregon.
Oh yeah.
No, not high school, grade school, I believe it was. Anyway, I dealt with them. One of our members called. It was his grandkid that was being harassed. Heard that that the kid wanted to shoot up the school. I got a hold of the school, asked them, they were told many a times and the school wasn't doing anything about it. I asked them what they were going to do about it. If they weren't going to do anything about it, we were going to go public. So they did permanently get rid of the kid, and things are peaceful now. But they sure didn't want anything to go public. Oh, we're having these problems up here. They might come after me if they see this, but that's fine because it's a fact. We did do it, and how people get. But,
it's sad you had to threaten them.
Yeah, I had to threaten them.
You had to threaten them for them to say that they would. Think of it this way: how about if he didn't threaten them?
Yeah, if you didn't show up, how bad would that have?
They probably wanted to shoot out. I mean, for them to get to shoot out.
Trying to make the news.
It's crazy. It's like. When I was growing up, they weren't shootouts in fucking schools.
Well, remember,
when I was growing up, you mentioned a gun, bro. The cops like that shit was crazy. If you mentioned a gun, bro, that like you could be on the bus. Nobody heard the conversation. The fucking camera. Nobody knew that camera on the bus was watching that shit, bro. Next thing you know, all of y'all are in the fucking office. What's going on? I don't know. What's going on? You get in there, they talking about one of y'all said something about a gun on the bus.
Exactly.
I grew up in a day where you could take and you have your rifle in your truck and you weren't going to shoot anybody.
Right. I know it's so bad.
I must be a lot older than you guys. But,
and it also is it's the medication that the kids are on too. The medication is what makes you think to do these stupid
medications
things.
are horrible. The kids don't need these medications.
They're getting all fucked up. So
they need proper diet, exercise,
and mental health.
Yeah,
just good mental health. That's where it comes from. It's the mental health. It's the mind of the kids. That's what they're going after. That's why they got fired from the job.
They're programming these kids.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
it's all by. It's always been by design. It's always been on purpose. They've been doing it on purpose. The parents recommend that the kids go get the test, do the ADHD, and then they have all these issues, and then the doctor's like, yeah, he kind of might need it. And then here's the pills, and the kid's taking the pills, and then he's like, oh fuck, maybe I'll bring a gun to school tomorrow and then do something stupid.
My son Joseph went to the charter school. He's 35 now, 36. Be 36 in June. Anyway, so he goes to the school, and they said that he needs medication.
Exactly.
So they said that the psych saw him without our permission. I said, why would a psych see him? Well, he's very disruptive in school. And I said, how does he do on his test? Well, he always passed. I said, because he's bored. That's why. You guys aren't challenging him. He's a very bright student. So that particular student that they wanted to put on medication, and I refused, thank God. Today, he's an electronical engineer owning a second home and living a great life in California. So if I would have let them allow my child to get medicated, they would have fucked him up. You know what I mean? Nah, I'm out.
Yeah. It would change the whole course of his life. That's that's what it comes down to. It's a choice.
Not that's excited about life.
Exactly.
Why is it that you want to calm a kid down that's excited about life?
Exactly.
Why do you want that kid to calm down?
Control. They want to control them.
I want that kid to live, man. Show me your vibrancy, man. You know what I mean? Lift me up, It's control. I train children now too, Bob. I have a 9 and a 12-year-old at the gym.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing training these young kids. These two kids are very disciplined. I trained the brother. You know the brother, James.
Oh, yeah.
James,
that's cool. Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
I trained James, and James is going to the Marines now, by the way, John.
Awesome.
Yeah, so James is going to the Marines. So I trained his little brother and sister, so they're 9 and 12. But these kids are disciplined. This little girl, you seen her triceps?
That's awesome.
She's fucking amazing, man. So I don't know. It's just such a good feeling, because I think that more young people need to get involved in good diet and exercise, not so much the phones.
Hopefully you get more in there.
Pardon?
I said, hopefully you get more in there. Just keep it going.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm advertising it, man. I'll take a bunch of kids. I don't mind. In the summertime, I'm thinking about starting a summer camp.
Are you teaching them martial arts as well?
Pardon?
Are you teaching them martial arts as well?
No, I'm not teaching them self-defense. I have a guy that comes. He teaches Krav Maga every 6 weeks. He's a private. He teaches me. He gives me private instruction. I don't want to. One of the kids that I trained was already an MMA fighter. His parents wanted me to make him stronger for him to win this fight, and he won. The other kid that I train right now is involved in motorsports. 9 years old, so he jumps on a dirt bike.
Oh yeah, you need some muscle there.
Yeah, and his sister is just very athletic. So they're very competitive, which is good, brother and sister. So they grow with that rivalry, and you could have two amazing athletes, because a child that exercises and that eats right could play any sport. He could be fast and quick in baseball, football, basketball. You put a kid out there without being strong, and you think because he's big that he's going to play. I can tell you, my son didn't play a lot of games, but he could tackle. He was strong. He could, but he didn't play a lot because he wasn't fast enough or strong enough. Where I think working out does that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, look at Zeke Mata.
Yeah.
Coach Mata trained him since he was a freaking kid.
Yeah.
And we ended up playing pro football. You know, we Zeke is a friend of ours. We've interviewed him. We played pro football for the Eagles.
For the Falcons.
Yeah, for the Falcons?
Yeah.
Falcons, my bad.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, so.
See, my mom and my dad used to kick us out the house.
Yeah.
Like Saturdays, like after school, I could run around and stuff. But like Saturdays, we got 2 acres to take care of. So, you got to cut that. He got to cut that side of the lawn. I got to cut this side of the lawn. We got to move all the dirt bikes, go-karts, all that. We got to get the yard in order. Saturdays and Sundays, there was no playing, basically. There was clean up before the week started.
I grew up every day. I played outside.
I played outside every day. Then I moved. When I came back to the bureau with my dad, he was kicking me out the house. Go outside.
I grew up in the 60s and the 70s,
Sitting
like Bob.
taking up all my AC. I could hear him.
Right, Bob. When we grew up, we had no phones. We had none of that shit. We just had
But you know what I thought about? Why it's not good? Why it's not safe to do it now? People don't talk to each other no more.
No.
People, the neighbors not talking no more.
No.
See, that's
Right.
what the village was. Communication between.
Exactly.
It wasn't that y'all was that close. It was that part about y'all speak. Y'all, if you see something that's not supposed to be happening at my house, you come over. Hey, I seen something.
That's what I said.
That's
People,
the
right?
village is gone.
I'm sure you experience that now, Bob, where
True.
people aren't speaking up and there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
right
All
next
the
door.
time.
You know, that's horrible. Speak the fuck up. You're right, though, Rondell.
That's
When
the
we were growing up, right, Bob? If our neighbors saw
Right.
us doing something, they brought us to our mother by the ear. Yeah, I saw him. And then the
Cuss
mother
at
would
that
grab
neighbor.
us by the ear, offer her a cake or a coffee. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
You know, today, if we try that, the parent wants to, try
Fight
to
you.
arrest us for abuse.
Want to fight you and
But
call
we're
on
trying to
police
help.
on
That's
you?
how come people don't get involved anymore. People mind their business, you know?
Right.
You know, it's a shame, though. We shouldn't mind our business when we see abuse. We need to speak up. We need to say something. You know?
Yep.
We do.
All these young girls are selling their body at 14 for what? For some pimp that fucking already convinced her to fucking do something because he said he loved to do this for me, do this, do my friend, do that. 150 here, 200 here, 100 here, 75 here. No, man. No way, man.
Mhm.
That girl gets fucking like, she gets worn out, like a toy that you stop playing with it and you just throw it away. Nah.
Yeah.
See people like
We
that.
have to prevent that from happening.
We do.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
that's why if you guys have seen this young girl, the picture we're going to put back up, if you've seen her, please contact me at 772-713-0921. I want to get this girl home.
All right.
If you could put that picture up real quick, John, thanks.
Uh-huh.
I want to get this girl home.
I'm not gonna find it.
I think it's on my page too.
If it's right there.
There it goes. So that's on my page of Citizens and Bikers. You guys can request to sign in to be a part of it. You guys will see what we post. Bob is always posting stuff, always posting updates, so you guys could see it and see what's going on there. Yep, that's her, man. So if you guys have seen her, Indian River County area, Palm Bay, St. Lucie County, Florida, Georgia, let me know. 772-713-0921. We're just going to go get her and take her home. That's it. Okay?
Done.
Bob.
Yeah.
Put Bob back on, man, so we can send him some love and respect.
Yeah.
Bob, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, bro. It was an honor, man, just being on here with you, bro. I love you, bro. You know that we talk all the time, and
I love you too.
You're always making sure I'm okay. You always call up and say, hey, how you doing? And I appreciate that more than you know, bro. You're a good leader, and I appreciate you being the leader of this organization. Thank you, and God bless, bro.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Don't leave yet. We're going to close the show, and you and I will be able to chat.
All right.
All right.
John?
There, yeah, I got him. There we go. All right, brother.
You can say bye. Love, peace, chicken grease.
No, we didn't do it yet. Yeah.
We haven't closed yet.
What's up? Hey, hold up.
We're still live.
We close yet.
We're still live. We
Sorry about that, guys.
Somebody just said, Ed, I just sent you some rescue pictures.
Nice.
So that's Brian Shaw.
All right, yeah, put that up.
Yeah.
That'll show some pictures of what he's. Let me see who he sent it to. He sent it probably to my Facebook, to my Messenger.
California president.
Hope you send it to your messenger
sure,
because
man,
I'll be
good
talking
guy.
crazy to them lunatics.
Yeah,
in
we're
our
gonna have
van,
Brian
little
show
thing.
on. Brian, we're gonna have you on the show, bro.
All right.
Good.
There you go. Well, there he is.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Share the show. We appreciate
Here we
it.
go.
Appreciate you. We finally got you.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
So these are some
horrible.
pictures. You probably can't see them.
yeah, I don't want to.
But this is abuse, bro. You see this shit happening and you don't fucking speak up. There's something wrong with you, man. Something seriously wrong with you. Give us a call if you see this, please. God bless, man.
All right, guys. Stay human.
Love, peace, chicken grease, baby. We out.